Hey guys, GP Hero again. And y'all can probably tell I look like crap right now. And I can tell you two reasons behind that. Actually, no, it's more than two reasons. There's quite a few reasons behind it. One of them is because I'm tired, but I can't sleep. Another one is I'm stressed. I'm beyond stressed. It's what's been holding me back so long from all my videos. But I'm trying to keep going. But I'm telling y'all, with what's been happening, it's been hard. But I'm really trying to keep going. And another one is I've told y'all I'm depressed. Like, I've been battling depression for this March will be 9 years since it started. And today I feel like it's time that I talk about a look that I have on it, as well as, with everything that's happened. I just feel like, it's time. It really is time for me to talk about everything, like, in a way for me to also give some encouragement to everybody for ways to handle their situations better. I haven't talked about this in a very long time, so yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. I mentioned a brief part about it in one of my first videos I uploaded, like, stating who I am as a person and stuff. Well, this time, I'm gonna actually talk about what actually started the depression from the very beginning. And I ain't blaming nobody for it. It's just something that happened. Because it can be triggered in a lot of ways, even if you don't mean for it to. But in the end, I'll add the backstory to it also. So, let's get started. So, when I was 15 years old, I was in my almost to last year as a Boy Scout. Boy Scouts was my life when I was during my teen years and stuff. So I have much appreciation and thankful for it every day of my life. But in February, I had gone up to my favorite scoutmaster because we were talking about the summer camp we were going to be going on that year, which we did go on. And, there we go. I walked up to him, and asked him if he was going that year because, usually he's, you would normally expect him to be. And when I asked him, when he told me his response to it, he had said, "Probably not this year, bud." And I was like, okay. Like, completely lost about it. I told my mom about that. And then 2 days later, she told me that there was a reason why he said that. And I'm pretty sure it was because his wife had reached out to her and told her, or she asked herself. I don't know. But I'm not gonna hold it against nobody. I then found out that day that he got a good job opportunity. Real good job opportunity. Which is a positive part to it. However, when something good's happening with you in your life, I've learned there's always a price you have to pay. Always a price you have to pay. And this was the price. I learned that he was going to be moving away to Louisiana. And when I heard that, it tore me apart. But it didn't start hitting me until a couple boys in the troop knew about it already. And he told me he was going to be moving in March, which I mean is understandable, so he could get the house ready and stuff and start his new job. Everybody else was going to be moving. When the night came and he made the announcement to the whole troop, that's where I lost it. Or that's the night I lost it, because I didn't actually lose it till I got home. I got home that night. I don't remember everything he said in the meeting, because that was a really, really, really rough time for me when that was going on. And not just me, but for the troop also. And when he, told us, we were all getting emotional and stuff. And it was hard and it was rough for all of us as the troop, because all of us looked up to him, so it made it really hard for us. And then when I got home that night, and I broke down in tears, because it just, it tore me apart. But I did learn from that night that something I did learn is what did I learn that night? I mean, I didn't learn it that night. I eventually had to hear something that I didn't ever want to hear, but I had to eventually, is that stuff like this is going to happen all your life. And people are going to come and go. I mean, whether they stay in your life is a different story. But people are going to move. They're going to get on with their lives. I learned that night. But when I learned that, that's when my depression started. And it wasn't even their fault. It just happened that way. So, whoever sees this video, do not blame my scout troop. They're not the reasons it happened. It was just a situation that I handled wrong, that I handled the hard way. Because I don't handle stuff like that too easily. I never have. I'm not really someone who does well with change. That's what the problem was. And it's 2021 now. So yeah, the 9 years will be here before we know it. And the next year came, 2013. I don't know exactly. Now that I look back to it, I don't even know why I didn't enjoy that year. But it appeared to have sucked for everybody. But now that I look back at it, I don't know why it did. I really don't. But I'll never know to this day. I never will know. And then 2014 happened. I had my hopes and prayers up, hoping it would be a good year that year. Also not a good year. But the different taste for me on that one, though, because that was the year that I learned how people are. And I was not with the right people at that time period. Granted, I could have done things way worse than what could have happened, because I'm a lot different from a lot of people out there. And I didn't do the smartest stuff, but I know I wasn't hanging around the right people. And it can be obvious when you're not comfortable with it. But yet at the same time, you don't know what to do because of, you not going through that situation before makes things difficult to handle. I've dealt with that my whole life because to this day I still struggle with not fully understanding how people are. 2015. Somehow I got a break from it that whole year. Don't know how, but somehow I did. But 2016 hit, all over it, happened all over again. But I have good reason behind why it happened in 2016. Because, like, just so much crap was happening. Like, I could not wrap my head around nothing that year. That whole year was just stressful altogether. And one thing that I can definitely be reassuring of what happened, but we're going to jump to later on that year, because 2016 is also the year I lost my cousin Mariah. And just recently I got this tattoo to honor her for it. Well, on the exact date of this past year was when I got it, December the 14th, because that is her passing date. And so, and then 2017 hit. I was a real angry person that year. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I did some stuff that year that I am not proud of. I said, mostly it was me saying some things. I said quite a few things to some people that I honestly really to this day still regret. Even if I was not necessarily right, necessarily wrong. Even if I wasn't and the other person might have been wrong, it still does not mean I had the rights to do that stuff. But at that time, I was so angry with life, I didn't even care at that point. It put me through so much anxiety. Anger. Breakdowns. All that stuff. And depression does that to you. And I know it too well because it hurts. It really does. And then 2018 came around. Beginning of that year sucked. But then, I don't know. Just like different things just happened that year. I don't know exactly how to describe it, because 2018 just shaped up to be an interesting year. But I felt like I had more of like a Hakuna Matata year that year. But I can't be for sure on it by 100%. I just did my part, and that's all I could do. That's all we can do. 2019, I was a mean person that year. And I highly do regret it. I really do. Because of some crazy decisions I made that year, which still could have been way worse. Honestly, they could have been a heck of a lot worse than they had to be. But still, I know that I was wrong either way. But I still chose to make those decisions anyway. But I know we all go through that. Now, 2020, of all the bad years I've seen in my life, or of all the years I've seen in my life, 2020 has definitely been the worst year I had ever seen in my life. And I don't think they could get any worse than that. They really can't. 2020 was horrible. Yeah, there were some good things from it, but at the same time, there were not. But also 2020 was the fastest year I've ever seen in my life. But the reason it was so bad, though, was because of the fact that, it's hard to believe it. It's already almost a year since it happened. But 2020 was when COVID started, even though technically it has been around for years. And of course, they just recently announced it. So yeah, I'll hold some anger in on that one. But it really messed up so many people. Like, hardly anybody was able to do anything they wanted to do throughout most of the year, because most people were in quarantine. and most of the entire country or entire world was shut down because of coronavirus. And that doesn't make me sad. That makes me angry. But anger can also be a thing in depression also, because depression is not a mood. It's a mental disorder. Or mental illness. That's the word. A mental illness. And it is not anything to play around with. You don't play around with that. I don't play around with it. Okay, I could say that I have played around with it, but I went through a phase where I was really seeking attention because of it. And it's not something I'm proud of or should have been doing, but I still did it. And, yeah, it does that to you. Depression will do that to you. It sucks. Bad. It sucks. But something I can say, though, on a positive note, despite of all of that, good things come out of it all. And your best thing to do is look at it, and our best thing we can do is look at it in a positive attitude. Because, like in a positive way, to see how far we've come in our lives despite of all this crap we went through. Those things help us become better people. And one way that I've been handling it, which honestly I need to do better about, I ain't been doing the best, but I've been trying, is trying to surround myself with the right people. Find a way to distract myself through it all too. Because that's how it works. And make yourself a better person. That's what I did. Because I've been cutting off a lot of people that I didn't need in my life. Because all that's done is make my life way worse than it needed to be. Nobody needs that. Not one I don't even wish that upon the worst person alive. Nobody needs that. Because depression will put you in a spot in your life that you don't want to be in. And I know I'm there right now. But I'm trying to make myself better. And that's another reason I created this channel, because, I feel like if I'm going to be who I am as a person, then I just need to be open about who I am as a person. I can't keep hiding my stuff anymore. My mom has always told me don't keep secrets. And so that's my goal, is to carry on and, reach out to people, show them what they're capable of and how they can make their life better than how it could have been before. Because that's what matters to me. And I had a talk with someone a couple days ago, but out of respect, I'm not saying a name. And it's the same thing I'm going to tell a lot of people. Ask yourself every day what your next step is, or ask this: what is my next step to success? You ask yourself that every day. When you're stressed out, but knowing that sometimes it's worth it, it is most of the time. Ask yourself what your next step is to a successful life. And I guarantee you, you're gonna be a much happier person, and life's gonna be treating you better. But you have to decide how you want to handle your situations. So I'm gonna end right here and telling you guys, look, keep your head up, because right now you have to. We're going to get through all this no matter what happens. We're all here. We're all still alive, and that's what matters. So, this is GP Hero signing out. We'll see you next time.